Hey, Iron Angel, how's it? Sorry, I got a band in the background again as normal, so it's gonna be a little bit gonna be a little noisy, but hopefully this will be okay. Should make sense. This is for a it's a really cool guy that owns a the best bike shop right now.
Angel,
Oops. Why am I hearing myself? So this is really for Larry Alvarado from Stacked BMX, which is a really awesome bike shop in Riverside, California. And if you guys haven't seen his Instagram, he in addition to, he sells all the bike parts that you could possibly need. If you watch his Instagram, he always puts on these ride outs, or I think he brings ramps over to his shop or something. There's always an army of riders over at his place. And, back in the mid-school days when, back when all the videos and stuff was being made, we were lucky if there were 5 people, if there were 5 riders in all of the state, back in Arizona anyway, at any given day. It was really down to such low numbers. And to see him with these just armies of dudes out riding, it's awesome. So, he was asking about, we got a mutual friend, Kyle Cole, man, who remembers this character, right? So, he wants to do some music, and just gonna do a little bit of just basic music theory stuff. And I've got my Zoom up. I could give Zoom links if anybody needs. Yeah, sorry. Like I said, I got a band practicing in the background. It's the Ukus, and these guys they do local Hawaii favorites, but they do it punk style. It's pretty awesome. There's some streams. If you haven't got a chance to see the Halloween stream from this year, there was a virtual concert coming out of here, and these guys were kind of a big hit in it, And then the guitar player also plays in a band called Console, which is video game music, and they played that night too, which was really cool. And of course Lenore played, and Lenore played with her band Iron Lotus, and Lenore also played with an AC/DC tribute band called Shoot to Thrill. Okay, so all right, so yeah, look, apparently Larry's on the stream. Okay, so first of all, I gotta try and plug in a guitar. My eyeballs are going bad, so don't laugh at my glasses, okay? So let me just make sure I got a tuner up. I'm just gonna get a basic guitar sound real quick. So I'm running ToneLib right now. I should be running Alex's new reamp, but I think there's a few more effects I might need. I probably don't need any of this junk, but I'm just gonna put a basic 412 in here. In fact, let me start getting the what is it? My right monitor. Yeah, actually, I haven't played this intro movie in a while, huh? I don't have any of the sounds. Do I have the sound up? I don't have the sound up. There we go. There's my right monitor. Oh, what's going on? Oh. Alright, well, sounds like a guitar anyway. That's okay. I'll pop up a tuner to make this make a little more sense in case I need to. Come on, retune. Okay, so I got a tuner up so we can talk about notes and all that stuff. And I'll pop up I can play my guitar for whatever you need. Okay, who else I got on here? I see Jimmy Z. All right. Come on, Jimmy Z. right. Well, anyway, you know, I'm probably gonna make all kinds of music theory mistakes, and that's okay. I've got I'll give you guys a Zoom link if you want. I'm gonna turn down the. I think I have a lot of compression going on my talking mic here, and it's probably picking up so much music that you can't hear what the hell I'm saying. So, yeah, let me turn that down a little bit. Oh. Ooh, speaking of which, I just got my Focusrite Octave Dynamic back. Allegedly, Focusrite fixed it, or I have a feeling they probably just sent me a new unit. I had just gotten it, and it was making a lot of noise on channel 1 and 2 after like a month or something, and so sent it back. They sent a new one. I actually tried to order a new one from Guitar Center, and I ordered that before I even sent this thing back. I got this one back already. I still haven't got my Guitar Center one. Supposedly, Connor Purrington is picking me up from the Pearl City Guitar Center tonight, so hopefully I got that. So let's talk about music theory. Larry, if you guys are out there, just type into the YouTube chat. I'll see it. I'm watching the Facebook chat and the Twitch chat as well. I'm trying to watch all three, but I have this Restream Relay thing, allegedly. Let's test it. That should bring me chats from Facebook, from oh geez, I just messed up. Hopefully I didn't break anything. Should bring me chat from Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, No Live, whatever this is on. So basically, I don't know much about music theory. I know enough now. Hey, all right. Hey, Larry. I knew enough. I had to learn enough over the years in the studio to really, tell whether a note was wrong or not. And wrong is the wrong word. It was, there are basic rules, but you can break them all you want. We wouldn't have Stormtroopers of Death or Dayglow Abortions or how many songs if it wasn't for people breaking rules and playing chromatically. Basically, you got 12 notes. If I were to I'm just gonna pop up a piano roll on a MIDI track here. Let's see, how do I do this? Let me pull up a MIDI editor. Open. So this is going up and down, but here's your basic notes. C. Oh, why am I not hearing this? Why am I not hearing you? Interesting. Oh, because I have you muted. Okay. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, and then back to C. So you have 7 distinct tones, and every time you go through those 7, the next one you play, it's going to be the same note. So you got a low C, you got a high C, you got a higher C. It's the same note. If you were to lay it out on a frequency chart, you would just see that every octave, every time you go up 8 whole tones or 8, every time you go up a scale, every time you go up an octave, you're doubling the frequency, and then the notes just start over again. In between those notes, there's C sharp or D flat, D sharp or E flat, F sharp or G flat, G sharp or A flat, and A sharp or B flat. I don't know if you can see this or not. It might be hard to see, but let me see. Let me get this junk out of the way. In Reaper, as you move up the piano roll, the notes change up here, which is the only way I know this. I can't play a piano. I have a tin ear. But basically, the way notes kind of work, what really mattered to me as a recording engineer, especially if you had a signed band, when we had the big bands in, like when we had a Megadeth in or a Sheryl Crow or whatever, those guys got producers, and those guys decide what notes are going on. You don't need to worry about it. You need to worry that all the cables are working right, and that your Neve consoles are not shorting out all over the place, which they do constantly. You got to worry about if your tape machine is aligned properly and stuff. You don't worry about the notes. The producer does that. But with unsigned bands, you had to take care of all that. And mainly you want to develop an ear so that you would actually feel kind of physical pain when people sang out of tune or played out of key notes, unless they were supposed to. Like that was always it for me. Like if you're playing chromatically and it didn't hurt, then that's a note you actually meant to play it that way. So that's cool. But I'm going to show you some intervals on guitar, and hopefully it'll help explain, because I think a lot of what matters with music theory, to me anyway, is how it makes you feel. That's kind of what I feel like it matters. And I mean, there's a lot more to it, and really, man, there's a million channels on YouTube or whatever that can tell you everything about theory. You can drill down so far. But let me get and nobody make fun of my glasses, or I'm gonna have to kill somebody. But let me pull up. Let me see. Sorry, it's gonna take me a second. Reset transform. No. This one. Reset transform. I'm just learning this video software, so hopefully I can get this to where we can see the guitar. Really, it's all that's going to matter is the frets. So let me get kind of a clearer sound here. So I'm going to pop up a tuner so that you can actually see what notes I'm playing. And then remind me, we'll get to major and minor scales, but it's not. I'm gonna get killed for this, but to me, it's not as important as people might say. I'm just asking for it, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Let me get a little cleaner of a sound. Might be a little too dull. So I need to be able to show. Turn off this guitar cabinet. Oh, that is awful. Sorry about that. Okay. So keep an eye on the notes here. This is retune. It's going to read out the notes. And so I'm going to play an A minor, which is okay. I'm going to get beaten up for this. But A minor, it's the same thing as C major, okay? It's not, I guess, in music theory land, but shares the same notes. So it's going to be A, B, C, D, E, F, G, so we're not going to have to worry about any weird flats or sharps. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay, right off the bat, with the minor scale. Sounds kind of dark and maybe sad, maybe tough. Oh, what do you mean video's blocking it? Sorry, yeah, sorry. Okay. Okay, there we go. That should be able to see now. Okay, sorry. So if I play it as A minor, it sounds kind of dark and sad, right? So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. Okay? So that's all the letters we're doing. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Okay? If I use those exact same notes, I'm going to play them as C major. I'm going to play the exact same notes, I'm telling you. But I'm going to start from C instead of A. And watch what happens. So let me do that right. See, it sounds happy now, right? It's the same notes. And is A minor. Now notice that it's always been the same notes. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And if I do it with C, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, it's just the relationship between the notes. It's the, what they call the interval. That's what makes you feel a certain way. Like, you know, the Misfits were kings of, you know, there's those kind of happy kind of things. You could put them together, but they also did the dark stuff. Yeah, just because you started from a different place. But I'm going to show you. So one of the things that really, let me pull up the piano key again. I'm not sure which one's easier, the piano or the guitar. But let's say we're just going to count scale tones. So C to D, that's 1, right? And if I count 2, or sorry, if I go up 1, so call C1, call D2, E3, F4, G5, and A6, and B7. Okay, so it's just the tones. If I play, here's a C. So I'm gonna, let's see, how do I get rid of this? Oops. So here's a C, and then with it, I'm gonna go up a second. So I'm gonna play a D with it. I'm gonna play a higher octave though. This one's kind of dark. So here's C, and here's the second tone. This is a major second. So if you go up, sorry, we'll deal with that in a second. But if I just go up one note to a second, so C1, D is 2. If I play those together, it sounds like barf, right? So that's a second. That's just yuck. That's barf. If I go up 2 notes, 1, 2, 3. So that's an E. So that's the third of the scale. Sounds kind of happy, right? Rather than, I mean, that's this is some L's Bells stuff right here. And then this is a major third, which is happy. We'll get to minor thirds because they're going to be kind of, they're not as happy. If I go up 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, sounds pretty powerful. And this is what you're probably used to hearing with the. To me, it doesn't sound happy or sad. It just sounds tough. If I go up a 5th, very much like the power, like the 4th. And this is your standard power chord, what they call it in guitar. So like your. So that's your 5th. The 5th is it's ambiguous. It's not really happy or sad, but again it's powerful. If I go up 6, or probably an easier way to do it. It has kind of a sound of a third, but there's a trick to it. I'll get to that in a second. You can really get a country or an old blues feel out of this. So if you're switching between 5ths and 6ths, so it's still got a kind of coherent feeling. Now a 7th, I want to kill the in between note, but so if you go up 7 tones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's just a really, it's really barf to me. Oh, did I really just get nailed for a takedown? I played a fourth. But to me, sevenths sound like seconds. You know, they just sound gross. You know, like. It sounds a lot like this, like when you're playing your second. And there's kind of a trick to that. So let me show you that. Because of the relationship of the note intervals in a scale. So if I were to play the C, in fact, let me get down. So like if I were to break out of this chromatic and just play every single note, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, all the way back to C. You'll see there's other notes in there. So what we played with C was a major third. If you were to lower that third a half note, that's a minor third. So listen to the difference between a major third and a minor third. See, it's a much more, I don't know, it sounds sad to me. Minor third compared to a major third. And you know, there's also a minor second compared to a major second. So here's a minor second. Let's see, 1. So if I go from E to F. So there's a minor second. Here's a major second. A little bit better to me, but still pretty much barf. Here's a minor third. Here's a major third. Yeah, in some ways, combining notes further apart than the one next to it makes it sound better. To me, but the sound of dissonance is two notes right next to each other. Sometimes you're even playing the same note, but you're just bending one of them. Like, for instance, here's a kind of a common technique. On the guitar, these are the same note. I'm playing a E on the B string and an E on the E string. And if I just barely bend it, makes some really eerie, crazy stuff. But to me, I don't like hearing seconds and sevenths. I can tolerate sevenths more than I can tolerate seconds, but not by much. But I'll keep going up the scale tones here. So there's major third. Major third, minor third. I mean, that's the big one to me. Major third, minor third. There's no really a fourth is called a perfect fourth because it's always a fourth. But there is an augmented, oh my God, somebody's going to beat me up. I think it's called an augmented fourth or a diminished fifth. Now, that is a tense sound, and you might recognize it from the birth of all things important. So that's the, what they call diabolos in musica or something like that. You're not supposed to play that tone in the old Catholic Church or something. So that's a diminished fifth or a augmented fourth, raised fourth. I don't know what it's called. I don't really know these. Like I said, I don't know that much about music theory. I know enough to get through a session, and I can tell if a singer's out of key, and I can suggest the correct notes to get them back in key. That's as much as I knew. And believe it or not, actually, I think there's some of you out there watching this who remember this. Believe it or not, even though my voice sounds the way it does now, back in the day, I had to be able to out-sing most unsigned bands, or they wouldn't take you. First of all, they wouldn't take you seriously, and second of all, they you needed to be able to show them what to do. And I could really sing pretty damn high back in the day, and I needed to know what notes those were. So if the vocal line was singing something, like I could play it on my guitar and guide them. So I knew just enough music theory to be able to play on my guitar the notes that technically, according to music theory or whatever, they should sing. And I could also sing it for them, but most of the time I would lay it down on my guitar. If you had a producer around, they play it on their piano if they needed it. So let me keep going up these. So you remember the power chord, how powerful that sounds. Then there's the minor sixth, and you kind of hear this. There's some old kind of progressive rock or whatever songs back in the day where you would do that. You wouldn't really do it by moving up to the sixth. You'd usually do it by moving the root note down. So listen to this. So here's a fifth to a sixth. To me, it's a very emotional, like a longing for something. The sixth. I don't know. Everybody hears music in a different way. So that's a minor sixth. There's a major sixth. And then here's a minor seventh. I'm not going to be able to stretch much further than this. And then here's a major seventh. And to me, that sounds like a second. And there's a reason for that. And we'll get into that in 1 second here. And then there's the octave. So here I'm going to play the exact same note, but an octave apart. See, it's an E and an E, right? And if you remember, during the early 2000s, that was the sound you would of the metalcore bands, the emo bands. So you'd play like chords. Then you play octave. Then back to power chords. So that's pretty much the intervals and what they do. And the reason you're hearing the minor and the major and all that, like when we were showing you the major scale, so the minor scale would be just start from A. Same notes, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A. And then if you're major scale, you start from C. But they have different relationships. See, the first one for a minor scale is a major second, but then the next note is to a minor third. Whereas with the major scale, first note, major second, major third. So here's a minor scale, here's a major scale. For the rest of it, 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 is the same in both scales. That's why they call it a perfect fourth. I don't know. In the fifth, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the power chords are the same in both scale, right there. But the relationships are going to change again. So if we were to look at this at the scale, we're going to look at the thirds real quick because that kind of tells you a lot about the scale. So if I were to go on A minor, so the A, 1, 2, 3, so that's a minor third, and then we're going to go to B, minor third. We're going to look at the C. It's a major third for the C. A D, minor third, E, minor third, F is going to be a major third, G, major third, and then you're back to A, right? The weird thing is going to be about fifths, and I'm sorry, I'm just kind of rambling. I really don't know music theory. I'm just showing you what I know because this is what's kept me coloring within the lines when you're supposed to, and it really helps to me. So I'll show you fifths real quick because this one gets weird. So watch this. Here's your A. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect. Here's B. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What the hell is that? So now you're into that illegal note, right? So in A minor, you really don't have a fifth for B. You don't have a B power chord. which is a weird thing. So you notice in Iron Man, right? They skipped a B, because otherwise it'd just be a weird note, right? If you're in a key where the fifth is what's that, flatted. But it's just something to know. Like if you're and this one really messed me up back in the day. We'd be, I thought I understood enough music theory to get through a session, and we'd have if we were playing a minor key, they'd use the second note in there and play a power chord, and then nothing sounded right with the rest of the song, and that's what it was. It was just I didn't realize that the second doesn't have a fifth, but it can if you want. I mean, think of whatever. It's totally chromatic. Band that made me want to play guitar. There's a lot of chromatic stuff that works. Let's see, who is yeah, Tom Jump, if you're listening out there, that'd be really awesome if I had I don't know what I would do with your viewership. That'd be kind of insane, and I'd probably die. But let me just tell him. If you're out there, hello, because that's awesome. Between Stack BMX and Tom Jump, if you guys were both had your fans over here, I think my YouTube channel would get shut down. I'd probably get doxxed and destroyed and everything else. But still, yeah, that is awesome. Okay, one more thing to say about intervals before we get to something else, and that is something called inversions. And I'm going to get beat up on this because I really don't understand this. But let's just go through the intervals that you already know. So a minor seventh, okay. So an inversion is you take the let's do a fifth. You take the lower tone and you put it up an octave. So in this case, it's A and E. A is lower, E is higher. So I'm going to take the E and I'm going to keep that as the root note. I'm going to make the A the higher note. So here we go. See how they have a very similar sound? So a fifth, a perfect fifth, inverts to a perfect fourth. That's why in the 80s and stuff, you would see a lot of bands, because it'd be a lot easier to play that, a fourth, than it would be to play a fifth doing that. Okay, let's get a good example. So that'd be if you're playing fifths, but you're going to get about the same sound playing fourths, right? So fifths invert to fourths, they have a very similar sound. Check out thirds. Okay, so D. Let's get a legal one here. So C and E, right? So here's your major third. So now I'm going to play the higher C. See, they have a very similar kind of sound. Ooh, I never thought of it that way. Okay, so if you guys aren't watching, Iron Angel is saying a lot of times when you're trying to figure something out by ear, if it sounds like the chord goes sideways, it's usually an inversion. And if you listen to a lot of street punk in the very late 70s, very early 80s, you would hear a lot of that. And you're like, what in the world are they playing? I think I'm playing the right thing, but it's not. And that's really what it was. One of the things to watch here, check this out. A major third inverts to a major sixth. Watch this. If you were to follow that scale, you're actually getting up to a sixth. So major thirds invert to minor sixths. Minor thirds, notice that's a G, E and a G. Minor thirds invert to major sixths. It's a screwball thing. Seconds, okay, and why it's so gross sounding with seconds and sevenths is that seconds invert to sevenths. Minor seconds invert to major sevenths, and major seconds invert to minor sevenths. Yeah, it's listen. Don't get into the Iron Angel will tell you. Everybody will tell you. Don't get into the lingo. Just don't. It's not worth it. Okay, all you music theory pedants out there, and I can be super pedantic about audio issues and stuff, but it's so much more important to understand why you might feel a certain way about notes than to get too crazy about it. There's entire channels where they will argue over music theory. Like, I mean, just watching them argue, it's funny from a distance, but when you're in it, it sucks. I just want to get records done. I don't like ignorance. I'm not pleading for anybody to be ignorant about it. I'm just saying you need to know enough to play. And just like when these guys get worried about what cable they're using on their guitar and stuff, there was a time, unless Tommy Gibbons is watching right now, which he actually might be. Tommy, are you watching? There was a time where I could hold my own on guitar. That was just like the singing. If you couldn't outplay an unsigned band who came in, even if they had a shredder, you were in trouble. And I would watch these guys worry about their cables and stuff. I'm like, look, dude, I don't care what cable you're using. I'm going to wail on you in a second. So don't worry about the cable. Plug in your guitar and play. It's fine. Worry about the music. Don't get killed on this pedantic stuff. But let me show you some. Let me show you if I can figure this out. Let me show you some stuff about the other part of music, which is, to me, super, super duper crazy important, and that's rhythm. Oh, yes, this band is really, really cool. I don't know if you can hear them in the background. Okay, so let me get rid of this webcam here, and I'm just going to show you a piano roll. So one thing you got to get is just rhythm. I'm just gonna mute all these tracks here. I'm gonna put on a metronome. I'm not sure if the metronome's gonna get out. Let me make sure it does. Oh, this is gonna be annoying, but this is what bands have to hear all the time. So you may as well. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so that's just a beat. In this case, it's gonna play an emphasized note on the 1 and then 2, 3, and 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So in this case, this is a 4/4 song. There's other time signatures, but make sure you can learn 4/4 at first. That just means 4 quarter notes in a measure. Oh, sorry, 1 second. Remind me, I gotta call Guitar Center before they close tonight because this guy's supposed to bring me my 1 second. Okay. Yeah, I got just remind me. I got to call Guitar Center because I need them to bring me my my mic preamp that hopefully they didn't lose and hopefully it's not broken. Okay, so anyway, 4/4 is a music term. It just means 4 notes in a measure. Is that right? I think that's right. 4 notes in a measure. That's 4 quarter notes in a measure. There's like 3/4 timing, 6/8. There's a million different zillion timings and whatever, but this is just the most basic one to me. So we're gonna hear 4 quarter notes, which is, like I say, you take a measure, which is like a whole note, and you chop it into 4 pieces. You got 4 notes, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I know it's not easy with this band in the background. And if we're doing eighth notes, we're gonna have 8 notes in one measure. So it'd be 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and if you had 16th notes, you just have 16 notes in that same measure. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and half note is 2 notes in a measure. 1, 2. It'd be like 1, 3, 1, 3. I really don't know how you would count those. I'll put some drums up real quick. Let's see. How do I open editor? So I have this grid laid out. Okay. Yeah. There is a certain amount of notes there's every second. In this case, this particular project is 120 beats per minute, and 120 beats per minute just means that there's 120 quarter notes per minute. We always talk about a heartbeat being around 60 beats per minute, and I heard that lots of people think that the reason we have so many songs in 120 beats per minute is because the human heartbeat is 60 beats per minute, generally, or whatever. So you can figure out, you could, back in the day when the internet first started, we were so thankful that there were calculators online that you could enter in, like, how many seconds is a quarter note at this tempo, beats per minute tells you how fast the song is. So if it's like for instance, okay, I'm gonna play this at 120. Oops, let me shut this drum off. I'm gonna play this metronome at 120. So what does that mean? 120 is 4 notes, is 120 beats per minute. So that's 1 note every half second. Is that right, or am I getting this messed up? Let me put it up at 200 beats per minute and watch what happens. Let me put it at 60 beats per minute and watch what happens. Okay, so that's there are calculators. Back in the day, you had to sit there with the chart unless you memorized it. But especially for things like delays and like echo effects, you would need to use your chart and pull out a calculator or just do the math on a piece of paper real quick. Some of them were trickier, like oscillations and modulations. You would need some pretty hardcore calculation actually. But for delays and things, you would take out a calculator and you'd figure out the tempo, and then you divide and you multiply and whatever else, and you get how long your eighth notes and quarter notes and stuff. A lot of people will tell you that tempo will also change how you feel about a piece of music. But anyway, that's 100. Let me pull up this drum beat. So here's let me see. Hey, you guys, how do you solo? How do you solo on the MIDI? Is there a way to solo certain notes on the MIDI editor and Reaper? I don't think there is. Anyway, let me. I don't know if you know what hi-hat is. So that's the hi-hat little thing the one you hold down with your foot on the drum set. So what's going to happen here is the kick drums playing on the 1 and the 3 and the 3 ends. So the kick drum's playing on the first quarter note, it's playing on the third quarter note, it's playing on the 8th note after the third quarter note. The snare is playing on the 2 and the 4. So it's playing on the second quarter note and the fourth quarter note. The hi-hat is playing the hi-hat is playing 8th notes. So watch this when I play this drum beat. The hi-hat's going to play 8ths. Like I said, the kick drums. Let me make this simpler. I'm gonna make this the kick plays on 1 and 3. So it's in a way the kick drum's playing half notes and the snare drum's playing half notes. The hi-hat's playing 8th notes. I'm just gonna loop this section, so that's how that drum's gonna sound. Let me start from the beginning. Let me turn off the metronome. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where the kick drum's playing. Now listen to the snare. It's going to play on the 2 and the 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And by listening to that hi-hat, it's playing 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and okay. And then here's your standard rock beat like I had at the beginning, where the kick drum's also playing on the 3 and. So check this out. Ali Baba and the 30 Thieves, right? Is that right? Or is it 40 Thieves? I don't know. Really, that's supposed to be a different... Oh, man, somebody's going to nail me for that Led Zeppelin beat instead. So here is... I have a... let me pull this up. So this is a piano part that's going to be playing... It's actually playing quarter notes, but it's arresting, which is, in many ways, is going to sound the same as a half note. So let me show you what that is. So here's this piano part. Let me turn that. Okay, but really what you're seeing is it's playing for a quarter note. So in this particular grid, it's set to show eighth notes. If I show whole notes or measures, see that I just see you only see the whole notes. You don't see the lines in between. Let me show you half notes. So here's the half note. If I were to play a note, that'd be a half note. So this is a piano roll for MIDI. Here's your quarter notes. See that line? It might be hard to see some of these lines. I'm sorry about that. I could maybe use a different theme. Maybe. And here's eighth notes, so it's going to see each one. And so what I have this doing is actually the piano's playing eighth notes, and then it's resting for a next eighth note. Now that sounds very similar to this. Watch, I'm going to make this so this is playing the whole quarter note real quick. So do you hear the difference there? Let me put that the way it was. If I were to make it staccato, you'd really hear it. So they're taking up the same amount of time, but it's not playing for as long each time. That's kind of a... Instead of going da da, if you went da da, that's got a different feel to it. All right, gotta hit the store. All right. So the rests can make you a lot of feel too. Like, I mean, here, let me. Now you want to see my YouTube channel get shut down? Watch this. Let's see if I can play this. So you could play. Oops, how does that go? No rests, right? But if I were to put a rest, much different, right? Instead of much different. And listen up, Warner Music Group, everybody else, I'm not playing a whole song. I'm not stealing anybody's stuff. I just played a riff. Don't DMCA me again. Seriously, that was lame. All right, let's not play that crap. Anyway, sorry. But yeah, so there's a big difference in that rhythm. So I'm gonna play these two guys together here. Now I'm gonna show you what. Do you remember what octaves were? So octaves are the same note, just in a different register. Is that right? In the right name register? So if a C. So here, watch. I'm gonna play a bunch of different C's on this bass. This actually. So if you really get into this, this is a very good free bass guitar plugin. Really good. Ample bass P light. Really good. They have a guitar one too. Everything I'm using here is free right now. I think I have the paid version of SSD5, but there's a free version. It's really good, the drum set. But so here's C. Here's C. Here's C. These are all C, but they are in different octaves. They sound a little different. I'm going to play this bass part, this could be playing pretty much the same notes as the piano, but it's going to be playing eighth notes instead. The other difference is the first time it plays, it's going to play all the notes in the higher octave. The next, it's going to play the same notes. It's going to play C, G, A, F. The first time it's going to play those other three notes in the, oh man. Yeah, last year there was a huge fight, and I have to thank a lot of big YouTube channels for coming to my rescue. There were several IP patent, we call them patent trolls, but they're companies that try and illegally enforce copyrights illegally, though. They're not enforcing anybody's copyright. They go around stealing other people's work and then suing them for it. So there's an article in a show about it on my website. They tried to claim my voice. I was out in actually let's see if we can see out there. So right now there's a band out here practicing. I was out in my room doing a tutorial about miking snare drums, and they claimed my voice, my talking voice, the words I said, and my voice. And so my YouTube channel got blocked, my Facebook got blocked, all this stuff happened. Anytime I would play a guitar, no matter what I did after that, they were nailing me for it. Facebook was doing it. They were just, all the IP trolls were on everywhere. My Twitch, everything got nailed, and it was nuts. And then it turned out that one of these scumbags was taking a commercially available sample library and then uploading it to the Content ID system, and that they also attacked me, and that got somebody who makes libraries very upset, and he got a lawyer, and I mean, there's a whole bunch of things that got me my right to use my own voice back, but that sucked. So I'm just warning you guys. This has been a crazy year where all kinds of things that nobody thought could happen have happened, and I'm just asking you to not mess with me in a very not nice way that I don't deserve. Anyway. So I'm going to play this and listen to how this bass sounds different when it does the higher octave than the lower octave. Well, I don't know why that F sounds so weird. Why is it? A weird sound, but anyway. You see, it's got like a very different. To me, the different octaves have a different feel to them when they play. I think of bands like maybe The Offspring, where you could hear them playing kind of in a different octave than you'd expect, and it would have a different kind of sound. So yeah, if I play these all together. And so the piano's kind of playing longer notes. The bass is just constantly driving dug, 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 dug. And that kind of gives you that feel. So different ways of making things feel. If I were to play long bass notes, it would to me, it'd have a different feeling. The shorter, there's this constant driving, pounding eighth notes to give you a different sound. Different drum beats will give you a different kind of feel. But really, I mean, just those intervals and the rhythm you play, that's really all you need. I mean, I was doing a really complicated, like the first one of those really like breakdown type of modern metalcore kind of bands I was recording, and I just didn't understand, was the guy playing like a triplet 32nd note, or was he playing a straight 64th note? You get to these things where the music just gets so complicated it's hard to tell. But for the most part, I tell you, learn your like basic your basic kind of shapes for chords, or just those basic kind of chords, and see how they make you feel. playing those notes back and forth and stuff. And that's really all there is to music theory for me. I mean, I just that's all I really needed to know to get albums done. And if you ever checked out the albums I've worked on, I mean that's really, the bigger bands usually had a producer, almost always had a producer, and that would handle all the notes. But the little bands, you would need to know just enough to make it work. And that's really all it is. It's really all there is to it. I mean, here, let me. I wonder if I can't get some sound from out there. If I can get my rooms, let me see if I can get the room sound up from out here. I can't remember what number it is. Oh yeah, sorry, I don't have that. I don't even have those mic preamps on, or do I? Oh yeah, I do. Hold on. 21. Let's see. Let's see if we actually start to hear this. Oh yeah, music most definitely is Play-Doh, Legos, or mud. You can. That's a really good way to put it. I mean, you can build. You can in many ways. So to me, the way if you say that. Legos would be like staccato. You have an exact place where it fits, and it goes and interlocks into the other one. Play-Doh's a little bit stiffer, but still kind of wiggly, like 8-bit analog synths or whatever. And mud would be stoner rock, where the timing is a little bit ambiguous. I mean, that's a good analogy for me anyway. But as really Legos, lots of times bands will have parts they like, and they'll show them to each other, and they go, "Hey, let's take that part and stick it onto this song and put them together." And so we used to call it musical Legos. You'd move them around. And in fact, Reaper's made that way so that you can make regions, I mean, if you can see that, and drag those around so you can change, like, where's my chorus, where's my verse, and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure other programs do the same thing. But here, let's listen to what these guys play here real quick. We've only got the singer's mic. I don't have the... I don't have. Let me see. All the mic preamps are off in that room. That's why. I'm sorry. Ooh, so am I supposed to call Guitar Center? Oh, yeah. Yep. I better call Guitar Center. Sorry. 1 second. Let me try calling Connor. Otherwise, I got to call Guitar Center. Sorry. Let's see what these guys are saying. I'm gonna shut up my mic for a second.
Oh, okay.
Repeat that. F, E minor, F, G, and then G7. Something like that, G, G7. So it's it's in the movie. Yeah, I think that'll work if you just kind of
I'll
click
just hold
anywhere.
it,
Yeah.
yeah.
And that'll actually kind of be the cue to get back in, I think. I think that actually be better like that. It would be a vocal lead in, so we're all going. And then that's where we do and I modified it a little bit. It's only like dugan, it's dugan, gadugan, 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 something like that. But I don't remember. So you can still apply just the simple one that we've been doing, but if you take a listen to the MIDI, you'll find that it's actually more simple, but it's got the same vibe. So if you learn that beat, you can put that in wherever you want in basically any song because it's kind of interchangeable. In case your leg is giving you trouble or whatever. Yeah, not today. Not today. You're doing great. Okay, so. I think that'll work. I think that'll work. Okie doke. Take it from the rap.
So this is how you work stuff out as a band. You know, they're figuring out their timing and everything, and this is what it's about, man. It's a lot of, it can be a lot of work, especially, you know, when you're playing the whole band and everything. Just on hold with Guitar Center here.
Straight through the station, just yeah, okay.
So this is the Ukus. This is a local band that they play like local Hawaii favorites, but they do it like punk style. But for once, they're not actually playing. So let's see.
Oh shit. That's what I'm supposed to sing. Sorry, that's
Kanalu, pi kanalu, kalo hey my oh, pi kanalu, nalu kako, ai my kapo inakai, nanalu nui mai, kaiki mai, ai my kapo inakai, nanalu nui mai, kaiki mai, pi kanalu, kalo hey my oh, pi kanalu, nalu kako.
Yeah, I'll stop eavesdropping on their practice, but these guys are actually pretty cool. But anyway, that's all there is to music theory. Hopefully you got something out of this, and hopefully I didn't really anger all the super pedantic music theory Ivy League dudes sitting in college yelling about how crappy everybody's bands are. And hopefully, oh yeah, like check it out. Where's my drum webcam? My rims came in, yay! So hopefully my tires are coming in. So let me know. I'm gonna go stash these someplace so nothing happens to them. But yeah, thanks for keeping me riding. Thanks for taking me from 270 pounds to 170 pounds in less than a year. That was incredible. I put a lot of weight back on from the quarantine, but it'll come back off. And so, yeah, thanks a lot, Larry. Hopefully you got something out of this. Anytime you got questions, just let me know. I'll take care of it. Plenty of musicians over by you that I know, and plenty over here that would love to help you. Plenty of writers that play guitar, play drums, play everything else. So I'll see you guys later. I have some mixes to do later tonight, so if you tune back in, you're gonna be tortured by me editing drums and everything else, but I'll have that stream on, I think on the AIX DSP channel. Yeah, I can't wait to get some tires, man. I'm just, yeah, with the weight I'm at right now, I don't really like running too much pressure on the tires. So that'll come back off though. I mean, that was awesome when it's another grind.